Welcome to the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship, second round. This is session 2. From Los Angeles, we're in Pauley Pavilion, and we've already had some exciting gymnastics earlier today in session number 1 with Utah and Washington advancing. Auburn, who came in seated 12th, had a bad day, and Southern Utah was game. They did a great job, but not enough to surpass Washington. So Utah and Washington will move to the regional final, which will go against 2 of the 4 teams in tonight's session: UCLA, Missouri, Stanford, and Boise State. Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. Kathy, why don't you handicap what we're about to see with these teams?
Well, UCLA could be the story of the season, like a phoenix. They've risen from ranked 12th the last 2 years to a top 4 national contender, and no one should sleep on Missouri. Even with a little hiccup on vault at SECs, they're peaking at the right time. Stanford's had a great season, though a disappointing Pac-12 championships. That makes them a little less predictable. But we saw what they did last regionals, making it from round 1 to all the way to the regional final. And Boise State won round 1 over BYU yesterday to be here. So they're competing back-to-back. That could be an advantage. They're comfortable in this arena.
All right, it's 4 events going on simultaneously. In your upper left corner is the vault. That's Boise State, which will be led off by Sydney Coe. On the bars on your upper right is Claire Dean. She'll be leading off for Stanford. On the lower left, Emily Lee for UCLA is on beam. And on the bottom right on floor for Missouri is Sienna Schreiber.
Top seed team UCLA starts on the beam where they are ranked 5th. This is a good event for them. Emily Lee is a solid leadoff performer. Very calm, confident, assured on this event.
Quick reminder for those who are seeing the postseason, 4 events will go simultaneously. 6 athletes compete on each team for each event. Just the top 5 on that event count towards their team total, but it's going to be a 4-ring circus all day long. You can see the scores per team and per athlete over in the right side of your screen as we go along.
Great start for UCLA on beam, and Sienna Schreiber doing a fantastic job for Missouri on floor where they're ranked 14th in the nation.
And Sienna Schreiber is MVP without a question for the Missouri Tigers, who have been really peaking, as you mentioned, at the right time. We saw them when they finally broke through to that 197 range in a dual meet against Auburn, and they have just really continued that momentum, which started all the way back in last year.
Oh no, a missed vault for Boise State. That's Emily. Oh, too bad.
Sydney Coe led off Boise State with a 9.75, but that does put Boise State in a bind because 6 athletes compete. The best 5 scores count towards the team total. They hope to have 4 more hit routines to get a respectable total here in that first rotation.
Coach Shannon Walker talking to Alana Kratzer right before her floor routine.
Shannon has done a terrific job with the Missouri Tigers. He's in his 10th season there. This is Missouri's ranked 14th. Floor is one of their better events. They're ranked 14th in the country, but the last 5 meets in a row, they've gone over 197. So they have competed well here late in the season. Sienna Alipio
doing a fantastic job on balance beam for UCLA. Very solid, beautiful work with those leaps. Great amplitude, full split. She also did a really difficult acro series, a front aerial to a back tuck. Just the gainer tuck full off the end, and a perfectly stuck landing. Well done for UCLA.
The next vaulter in the upper left for Boise State will be Alyssa Vulaj.
This is Yurchenko, full twist on, back pike. It's a 10-0 start value, big hop on the landing. But nice to see a different, unique vault.
Brenna Nault will be up on bars in the upper right corner of your screen for Stanford. Claire Dean led off the Cardinal with a 9.875. Maddie Brunette came second with a 9.85.
Brenna Nault is such a natural bar swinger. Beautiful execution on these handstands. Great amplitude on those flight transitions between the bars. Look at that handstand pirouette on low bar, right in that vertical position. Well done. Again, full pirouette on top of the bar. Really beautiful work in the handstand. Anna Padererio on balance beam for UCLA. One of the best balance beam workers in the world during her international elite career.
She's coming after Alipio had a 9.925, so both scores 9.9 or better for UCLA on beam in the first rotation. Impressive. Adriana Pop will be next for vault for Boise State in your upper left corner.
Side aerial to back handspring on beam. I really like the way UCLA is performing these routines. Oh no, and another short landing on vault. Autumn Grable is the beam coach for UCLA, and she has done such a good job preparing these athletes to compete, but also perform on balance beam. Beautiful execution on the difficult elements, very artistic, and so solid in competition.
Irina Alexieva for Stanford on bars after Brenna Nault had a 9.825.
Interesting combination, that Higgins roll into the pike Jaeger. Very difficult combination, well done. And punctuated with beautiful toe point. Sets up the dismount right here out of the full pirouette into a tuck double back, just a little apart with the legs.
Down on your lower right, Hannah McCrary starting her floor routine for Missouri after Alana Krutzer had a 9.775.
Opening tumbling run here. Front way out to a Rudy. And Jordan Childs mounting the balance beam, one of the most creative beam workers. In fact, I watched her warm up. I think she's a beam magician. She saved a skill in a way I've never seen possible. Front aerial, very solid and smooth right into the back handspring layout step out.
Childs, the sophomore from Vancouver, Washington, a member of the Olympic team for the U.S. in 2020.
So confident. I like her pace on balance beam. Moves from one skill to the other. She does a very difficult dismount, round off pike double back. Very few gymnasts in NCAA risk that level of difficulty. Great to see her go for it and do it so well.
On bars for Stanford in the upper right corner, Anna Roberts after Alexieva had a 9.875.
I like how tight Stanford is on bars. Little leg separation on that transition back up to high bar, but the legs are straight, toes pointed, everything is precise.
In the upper left, Courtney Blackson for Boise State. A big vault here needed.
Huge 1.5 twist, great amplitude and a phenomenal landing. Boy, did they need that.
They had two slipped landings there, a 9.15 and a 9.225, so they'll drop that 9.15 and replace it with whatever score that Courtney Blackson gets for that superb 1.5 twister.
And one thing to keep in mind, she can really qualify even as an individual in the event Boise State doesn't move on to nationals. That kind of vault can score well enough to qualify as an individual qualifier.
Down in the bottom left on beam, Selena Harris, the superb freshman from UCLA, after Jordan Childs got their second 9-9 of that rotation.
Opens with a triple series here. Back handspring, layout, step out, into another back handspring. Selena competes with so much confidence.
We thought that vault for Courtney Blackson was good, Kathy, but it was a 10.
Wow.
How about that? What a start here in the first rotation. We're seeing world-class gymnastics from all four of these teams. Chloe Widner now for Stanford on bars. 9.825 is the score for Anna Roberts.
Big beam routine for UCLA, and a great second. Do you see how far she traveled on that round off, 1.5 to his dismount?
And completely nailed it. Selena Harris, the freshman out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Almost a stick there on the uneven bars on that dismount. Not quite. Little hop forward.
Harris, quite the competitor, thrives in these kind of environments. Of course, it's Pauley Pavilion. It's the Los Angeles Regional, but it's hosted here at UCLA. They must be comfortable in this building, obviously. UCLA has a 9.925 and 2.99 so far. Right now, the low score is the 9.8. Selena Harris will score well, I'm sure. And how about Emma Malabuyo coming up now, Kathy, in the anchor spot on beam for UCLA in the bottom left.
She is such a fun gymnast to watch on this event. It's a very almost playful routine, but it has got the difficulty. It's very precise. Nice job on that wolf turn. Opens with her Afro series here. Back handspring layout, step out.
Score for Selena Harris before her, 9.975. What a start for UCLA. Already a 49.5 on beam, and they can even improve that score depending on what Malabuyo gets.
Nice combination. Split jump to a split ring. Just the dismount left. Sets it up with a back handspring, swings through, gainer full, and a great routine. What a rotation for UCLA.
We're talking potential record-setting scores on beam here in the regional here, session 2 in Los Angeles for the Bruins. Jocelyn Moore on floor for Missouri in the bottom right. Solid scores for the Missouri Tigers in that first rotation. At the top of your screen, Anissa Alvarado from BYU. Unfortunately, a fall. She's competing here as an individual. BYU lost to Boise State in yesterday's round 1 of the NCAA, so she still has a chance to compete in the regional final and perhaps even the national championships, depending on how she places here as an individual.
Wow, look at the control on the landing. Great job. Really nice performance, went all out.
Talk about quality of gymnastics, Kathy. UCLA a season high on beam. Emma Malabullo got another 9.975, so that 49.675 is a incredible score for UCLA in the first rotation. Stanford impressive on bars as well, and we already had a perfect 10 in this competition from Boise State's Courtney Blackson. What a first rotation, and we're not done yet because we have Amari Celestine coming up for Missouri.
The scores look good for Missouri. They have one lower score they'd like to drop, that 9.775. They have a 9.9 from Hannah McCrary. This really sets up Amari Celestine really well going in the anchor spot for Missouri.
Celestine, the sophomore from Wildomar, California. She was on an all-SEC team as a freshman. Runner-up in vault at the NCAA championships last year. 7 of 8 meets this year were 9.9 or higher. And here she goes, anchor competitor for Missouri.
And following the 9.9 from Jocelyn Moore. Opens with an E pass, a full twisting double back. Really well done. Oh, looks like, yep, I saw the flag go up. That's a 1/10 of a point off for out of bounds. It looked like she almost stayed on the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure she went out of bounds. It appeared that her foot was on the tape, but you have to touch outside the tape for it to be a 1/10 deduction.
I believe I saw that yellow flag, though.
I did that for sure.
Back 1.5 to front layout, good control. Final pass, nice amplitude, and look at the landing on that double top. All right, great job. I have to believe that that line judge, the woman standing there with the yellow flag, she had a great view of that line and where her foot was. So I would imagine she could see, but let's look at the replay, because this is something that I think she stayed in.
No,
she did not go over that line. So that, if they take the 1/10 of a point deduction, that's something that a coach can put in an inquiry for. Well, look, she did. You know what? I think she did not raise it all the way.
That flag.
Thought about it and then didn't, is what I think.
Donna Jean Jones, the line judge at UCLA today, was non-committal on that yellow flag, but I do believe she put it down. So unlikely there will be a deduction, but Missouri will be in the top 2 regardless. So we will look at some highlights when we come back of that incredible rotation here in the And welcome back to Los Angeles, the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship, second round, session 2 at Pauley Pavilion. And what a terrific opening rotation we had. After the first rotation, UCLA and Missouri are the top 2 teams. And there were several highlights, Kathy.
Oh, you can't get better than a 10. Courtney Blackson from Boise State gets her first 10 of her career. So exciting, a beautifully executed 1.5 twist. And UCLA's beam, all 5 counting scores, 9.9 or better, including Selena Harris with 9.975, and near perfection again from Emma Malabullo. Phenomenal. phenomenal first rotation for UCLA. And floor for Missouri, Hannah McCrary, a 9-9. This arena loves floor routines, and they love this one from Jocelyn Moore. Another 9-9 from Missouri.
All right, I'm Mark Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. This is a great way to start session 2. We're in Pauley Pavilion. UCLA is going to go to the floor where they're the #1 team in the country, but already an impressive start, Kathy.
Well, I mentioned this arena loves floor routines, and they are ready for the floor party with UCLA. Ranked #1, they are great tumblers, but they are even better performers, so it's going to be really exciting.
Fantastic. Missouri was strong in that first rotation as well, and of course, it's always a highlight when you see a perfect 10. Congratulations to Courtney Blackson for getting a 10 for Boise State, the first in her career. All right, you see the event rankings for the UCLA Bruins. 11th on vault is their lowest ranked national event, but floor, where they're going next, they are showstoppers, and many times UCLA floor routines have gone viral, as we have seen over the last several years. You talked about UCLA rising up, Kathy. Let's talk a little bit about the trajectory of this team this year under the new head coach, Janelle McDonald.
It's been really phenomenal. The first thing she did was go in and really try to build a culture, a strong culture with this team, where they believed in each other, trusted each other. Yes, they work hard, but family first, and it is just showing they've come together so well this year and performed beautifully thus far. BJ Doss right there, the choreographer of all these great floor routines.
BJ Doss, for many years a volunteer assistant coach, now a full-fledged staff member in her first year as an assistant coach. Janelle McDonald, who had been at Cal, came down here, took over after Chris Waller had been with the program for 20 years, and of course before him it was people like Val Condo. Okay, it's a quad box here, so we're going to see 4 teams competing simultaneously, as we know. In this rotation on the vault, Missouri is in your upper left corner. Hannah McCrary will be the first vaulter. On the bars in your upper right corner, that's Boise State. Talia Little will lead off there. On the lower left, it's beam, and that's Claire Dean. She gets the leadoff spot every event for Stanford, and she's a superb leadoff competitor. And then on floor in your bottom right, that'll be Emily Lee, who will lead it off for the UCLA Bruins.
And this is a critical event for Missouri vault. This is where they had the hiccup at SEC championships. So some last-minute coaching to his vault team. They want to start off strong. And we talk about sticking landings on vault. At this point in this kind of competition, what they want to do is hit a big vault, step forward if need be. Do not under-rotate these vaults. Big open tumbling pass on floor exercise for UCLA. First vault for Missouri, a big Yurchenko vault, was slightly under-rotated. Her chest was a little bit forward. It looked like it stung her ankles a bit. Those short landings will do that. Nice position on that first lead for Emily Lee. Final tumbling pass, a pike double back. Judges are looking for a chest up high on the landing and no movement of the feet, just one step into a lunge. She kind of hopped forward into the lunge.
The upper right screen, Danny Nakayama. Talia Little, the first competitor for Boise State. Excuse me. Oh, short of the handstand. Sienna Schreiber will vault. She's in the upper left screen for Missouri.
Yurchenko fall and a perfectly stuck landing. That's a 9.95 start value, so the maximum score it can get, and she's going to get a big part of that score with that landing.
Bella Onishko in the lower left screen on beam for Stanford after Claire Dean led them off with a 9.85.
Triple series here, front aerial, right into 2 back handsprings. Very fluid, very well connected. Oh, and another miss on bars.
Boise State competing 2 days in a row. They had to compete in the round 1 against BYU yesterday, so it was a taxing competition yesterday. Perhaps that is left them a bit fatigued to the second round today. Going 2 days back-to-back is not easy.
Very nice routine here, finishing up for Stanford on beam. So 2 strong beam routines down in this rotation.
Grace Ann Davis on vault after Sienna Schreiber stuck hers for the 9.9.
And the beautiful Brooklyn Moores on floor exercise with a front double twist punch front.
Yeah, Lily led off the Bruins with 9.8 on floor.
One of the most expressive performers in gymnastics, both internationally and at the collegiate level. Beautiful floaty layout step out. Beautiful extension on the lead, shapes in the air.
Has not been in the lineup for UCLA, so good to see her here at the regional, healthy and able to contribute.
Oh, just a gorgeous performance. Fabulous. Oh, yeah, she loves it. Lovely beam work here. Sets up the acro series, back handspring layout, step out. A little bit shy of that switch leap half twist, half turn. Needed to get a little bit more around before landing. And a gainer front foot, oh, short of rotation. So a couple little deductions there, but beautiful beam work. Big vault coming up here. Jocelyn Moore with an absolutely sky-high 1.5 twist. That is just a thing of beauty.
And Shannon Welker will be happy with his team so far. 2 9.9s for Schreiber and Amari Celestine. 9.85 for Grace Ann Davis, and that for Jocelyn Moore always scores well. Scored the first perfect 10 in Missouri gymnastics history earlier this year.
Selena Harris on floor exercise for UCLA. Bottom right corner. And a big full twisting double back with a perfectly stuck landing. see Boise State come back with a hit bar routine. Oh, gorgeous extension on those leaps and jumps. Over split. Brennan Nault mounting the balance beam for Stanford. Oh, unusual, very creative balance beam mount. Back 1.5 to front half. Really strong finish here for Selena Harris on floor.
Missouri has completed the rotation on vault, and 3 9.9s, a 9.85, and we'll wait for the score for Kira Burns. So after struggling a bit on vault at the SEC Championship, Missouri superb there, as Kylie Iquinto from BYU will get set to compete as an individual today. Kira Burns had a 9.85.
Brennan Nault dismounting beam, a great routine for Stanford. So far, they are doing quite well. We get ready to see Marzetta Frazier on floor exercise. Always an entertaining piece of gymnastics here. The performance, the way she connects with an audience, and the music, superb.
Already a 9.9 for Harris, and Brooklyn Moore's 9.925 for the Bruins on floor.
Whip back through to a double back.
Blackson set to go on bars, and Anna Roberts on beam in the bottom left for Stanford after Brennan Nault scored their high score over there, a 9.9.
Nice release move on the uneven bars. Great to see them coming back strong here. Double layout and a perfectly stuck landing.
It's Elena McGovern. Blackson will be next.
Oh, that was actually Blackson. Have to see.
Stanford has 5 hit routines on beam. 9.9 being the high score for Brennan Nault. .99 was the score for Courtney Blackson on bars. So following up her 10 on vault, a 9.9 on bars for the Boise State star. Emily Lopez now for Boise State on bars.
Another great bar routine, ranked tied for 14th in the nation on this event. Scored a 10. Beautiful work in these handstands. Excellent routine. Wow, these last two routines for Boise State, beautiful.
Emily Lopez and Courtney Blackson have really been that 1-2 punch at the end of that lineup on 3 events all year long. Among the MVPs, along with Emma Loyam on this team.
Shea Campbell for UCLA on floor exercise.
And on beam for Stanford, Chloe Widner.
Big pass, full twisting double back. This is when I need 4 eyeballs, 2 each for beam and floor. Great gymnastics going on side by side here. Front layout to front full.
And in the top of your screen on bars, Hannah Demers, the senior all-arounder from Central Michigan, competing as an individual here. 2nd year in a row competing at the NCAA regionals as an all-arounder.
Final pass for Shea Campbell. Tuck double back. As always, a great performance.
Just the superb gymnastics continues here as we start to close out the halfway point of this session 2 of the Los Angeles Regional in the 2nd round. Impressive routines, and what a comeback for Boise State on the bars after an 8.625 in the leadoff spot. They finished up strong with the last 4 scores, 9.85 to 9.95. And an impressive team score for Boise State on bars after having to come back. Stanford on beam, Chloe Widner in the anchor spot gets a 9.925, so superb work, a 49.4 for Stanford on beam. Missouri on vault has a 49.4 as well, and that team score there. And the final competitor on the floor for the UCLA Bruins after Shea Campbell got a 9.9 will be Jordan Childs, always a highlight. Amber Koth from Sacramento State on beam on the left side of your screen, competing as an individual.
Who opened with a really nifty mount on beam, showing some great beam work. Here's Jordan Childs, double layout. Big tumbling, great landing. Beautiful amplitude on that front, through to a double back. This is the kind of routine that every time I see it, I see something new, something different. It is just packed.
Oh, yeah.
Many great elements, great tumbling, great performance, super choreography.
Jordan Childs, the sophomore Olympic medalist. She brings so much energy to this team.
And I will have to say this too, and some of the best sportsmanship. I mean, this gymnast is all heart, so much talent, so much competitive spirit and fire. Just a ton of fun to watch.
All right, we're the halfway point here at the Los Angeles Regional here at the National Championships. Jordan Childs, Olympic medalist, and always a treat. Expect to see her competing as an elite athlete as well. So exciting to see so many athletes competing in college competition as well as on the U.S. national team, traveling, representing the United States all around the world. Jordan Childs will surely get a big score. 9.95 for the sophomore for the UCLA Bruins. They will hold on to their lead with a 99.175 here at the halfway point.
That was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
And check this double layout out. That is just gorgeous.
That routine was excellent.
That is just mind-boggling.
Unbelievable performance.
That's a superpower.
Oh, the gymnastics continues all the way through the next couple of weeks. The national championships will be down in Fort Worth. April 13th will be on twice on ESPN with the semifinals, and then on April 15th we'll have the first ever live pre-show at 3:30 Eastern on ABC, and then the finals after that at 4 p.m. Eastern on ABC Network. What a meet we have going here at the halfway point. The UCLA Bruins, impressive, solidly in the lead, but we got a heck of a battle for that second spot. There were several highlights in that rotation, Kathy.
Oh, absolutely. Did Missouri turn it around from SEC's 3.99 vaults in this rotation? Incredible. And the other two scores were 9.85, so great job by Missouri on vault. And then Emily Lopez for Boise State. They came roaring back after a fall in the first leadoff spot. And a huge score, 9.95 for that bar routine. Chloe Wedner on balance beam. Stanford had a great rotation. Boy, was a 9.925 on beam. And then Jordan Childs, what a treat, put on a show. Tumbled sky high, danced up a storm.
All right, Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. More world-class gymnastics. Now, the UCLA Bruins were the top seed coming into this regional, and they're already on pace over a 99.175, which is averaging more than 9.9 per athlete. Boy, they are just really peaking at the right time.
I am so impressed with this team, not just because of the turnaround that UCLA has made, but the way they're competing, and they look so calm and confident, but aggressive, and they're having fun. That's just magic.
Now, the battle will be between Missouri and Stanford, that second and third spot. Those two teams just separated by 1/10 of a point. Remember, the top two teams from this session 2 will qualify to Saturday evening's finals at the regional. And so
we
far,
love a good battle.
UCLA and Missouri are in those two spots, but Stanford just 1/10 of a point behind Missouri. Boise State trailing about 6/10 of a point behind third place.
It's
Kathy, you
what
were
regionals
saying?
is all about. Yeah, we love a good battle because we're just seeing these teams at their best. They are fighting for every single 10th of a point, and that's just a lot of fun to watch, especially when we've seen such a great season so far from all of these teams.
Earlier today, Utah and Washington advanced out of session 1. So the final 2 teams into the regional final will be determined tonight. All right, in this rotation on the vault, UCLA is in the upper left corner. That's Margzetta Frazier, who's vaulting. On the bars for Missouri, in the upper right is Amari Celestine. Boise State is on the beam with Alyssa Vulaj. And Stanford on the floor, and once again, Claire Dean gets their leadoff spot.
And Margzetta Frazier opened with a huge Yurchenko full for UCLA on vault. Bars is looking fantastic. Love that dismount combination. Great handstand into the Stalder front pike half. Very solid on balance beam so far. Beautiful vault. Emily Lee for UCLA.
Margzetta left the Bruins off with a 9-9 over there.
A little under-rotated on floor exercise on that pass. Sienna Schreiber on bars from Missouri.
Amari Celestine, right?
Tiny bit short on that handstand. Double layout and a perfectly stuck landing.
Talia Little will be next up on beam for Boise State after Alyssa Vulaj led them off with a strong 9.85. Little had struggled on bars in the previous rotation. Let's see what she can do here. Brooklyn Moores will vault in the upper left of your screen for UCLA after Emily Lee got a 9.85.
She was called up after warm-up. She warmed this vault up really well and just nailed it here. Front pike half, that's a 10-0 start value. Really
after
well
a 9.925 for Brooklyn Moores on floor. Also impressive on vault here. Upper right corner, Alyssa Sharametta will be up for Missouri on bars. Sienna Schreiber 9.85 before her.
Ooh, went hard for that handstand. A little bit of a sway back, saving it. Nice comeback for Talia Little on balance beam. Check out this dismount on bars, 1.5 twist. Really well done.
Brooklyn Moores had a 9.9 for her vault for UCLA. That brings up Shea Campbell in the upper left.
And this can be a big, beautiful Yurchenko full sky high. Just stayed inside those lines.
She just floated down on that landing and controlled it superbly.
Tuck double back, like how she kicked out of that. Oh, dramatic finish.
That's Maddie Burnett from Stanford finishing up on floor. Jocelyn Moore getting set to go on bars in the upper right. Erin El-Kabchi for Boise State on the beam. And Selena Harris in the upper left on vault for UCLA after Shea Campbell gets a 9.95 on a vault that's only worth a 9.95. That's perfection.
1.5 twist here. Oh, it's a stuck landing, a little deep squat. We'll see what the judges do with that, but she did not move those feet.
The Bruins having an incredible day here in Pauley Pavilion.
Jocelyn Moore dismounting on the uneven bars with a perfectly stuck full twisting double back. I love how dialed in the landings are. You can just tell that they know every tenth of a point matters. Look at her hold on. Of course, they'll deduct for the arm swing and the pike forward, but she was not going to move those feet.
Brennan Nault on floor in the bottom right for Stanford after Maddie Burnett got their 9.85. Jordan Childs will vault for UCLA in the upper left, and Selena Harris had a 9.9 before her. So four scores 9.9 or better.
Double twist!
Oh my!
Oh, it's a gorgeous vault! Oh, a tiny little hop on that landing, but boy, was it beautifully executed,
and she
such a
launched
difficult
off that vault table. Wow! UCLA on pace for perhaps the high score of the season. Helen Hu on bars for Missouri after Jocelyn Moore got a 9.85.
One of the best bar routines you'll see in competition. Helen Hu can swing and fly. What a gorgeous... That's a huge missed opportunity for Missouri because that would have been a ginormous score. Anxious to see the score for Brennan Nault. It's coming off Maddie Burnett's 9.85, and that was a beautiful floor routine just now. A really strong routine for Boise State, Emily Lopez.
Kira Burns for Missouri will be the anchor competitor after that botched landing for Helen Hu. Obviously, that will be the low score. I hope to get more than that from Kira Burns, who they have yet to break into the 9.9s, but four scores between 9.8 and 9.85 for Missouri. Brennan Nault had a 9.825 for Stanford on floor, and that brings up Terralyn Nguyen.
She opens with a huge double layout. Such a powerful vaulter and tumbler. Oh, little too much power. Stepped out of bounds with a big lunge.
That's on beam is Emma Loyam from Boise State. Emily Lopez had a terrific 9.875, their high score there so far.
Impressive balance beam work here. Switch leap to switch leap. Oh, nice 2.5 twist to a front pike on floor exercise. Well, unfortunately, she'll have a deduction for that first pass, just overpowered that double layout. Here's a quick look at Hallie Moisette, who was a great floor worker for UCLA, now the assistant coach at Stanford. So open with a double layout and just overpowered it, got her feet a little too far underneath her on the landing and had to big step back and of course out of bounds.
And UCLA solidly in charge of this competition, averaging over 9.9 per athlete. They are comfortable here at home in Pauley Pavilion. And an exciting battle here between second and third place between Missouri and Stanford. Missouri has a 147.925. They have completed the bars rotation. Emily Loyam has finished beam, and that's a 9.85. The anchor competitor for Boise State on the left of your screen, Adriana Pop.
Who scored a regional record yesterday in round one. Scored a 9.925. Unfortunately, she won't get that here with that big balance break. Look at that pass. Two back handsprings to a layout on beam. Love it.
Yeah, that 49.425 yesterday for Boise State on beam. It's the highest score in the regional under the current format in history.
Roberts opened up with a big tumbling pass, that full twisting double back. Another double back here, this time in tuck position, or actually front layout to Rudy, perfectly stuck on this landing. Nice routine. One of the requirements on floor exercise is to connect, or is to do a combination pass with two different saltos.
Remember, we said that UCLA in control here, averaging over 9.9. That 49.575 on vault is a season high, but the battle really here is between second and third place, because just the top two teams will advance to the regional championship on Saturday. Missouri's score is in at 147.925. The last two competitors for Stanford on the floor, if they average over 9.9, they can move ahead of Missouri going into the fourth and final rotation. That's how close this team battle is for second place. On the left of your screen, Hannah Demers from Central Michigan, competing here as an individual after Boise State completed the team competition on that apparatus.
Beautiful beam work. Unfortunately, had a fall earlier in the routine and a wobble as well.
If Chloe Widner here for Stanford could get a 9.95, they would tie Missouri going into the fourth and final rotation. This is close.
Opens with a double layout, nice difficulty, nice landing.
Widner has struggled with sore ankles throughout her career, but boy, did she nail that landing on that opening tumbling pass.
And a difficult front through to a pike double back. I believe she stayed in bounds. Extension on her leaps. Okay, we'll see. Wait and see what the score is.
Kathy, it was so much fun to watch Stanford last year, and they have almost a completely new team. They lost 15 routines from their NCAA regional championship team last year, and 10 of the 24 routines on this Stanford Cardinal team are from freshmen. So Tabitha Yim, the head coach in her 6th season at Stanford, the former All-American at Stanford, doing an outstanding job. Last year their theme was flip the script. This year it's up the ante, and Stanford, with so many new competitors, still a quality routine here with a shot at moving on to the regional final, depending on these final couple of scores, and we'll move on to the fourth and final rotation. But it will come down to the wire because UCLA's in charge. Missouri and Stanford close. We do not yet have the score for Widner. But Taylor Pitchell from Central Michigan will be the last competitor in this third rotation, competing as an individual. Pitchell, the senior from Connecticut.
And Bart, you'll notice that the individuals competing, the team that they're competing with kind of adopts them and really supports them. You'll hear them and see them cheering on the sidelines as if they're a part of the team.
It's pretty terrific. She is a senior, and this is the first time she's qualified for the regional. She has a season best score on floor of 9.95. She got that versus Kent State back on the 12th of March. So a great opportunity for her to see if she can advance to the regional finals and perhaps even to the national championship. Score for Chloe Widner, 9.85. That means Missouri will retain second place going into the fourth and final rotation. Stanford 1/10 of a point behind them. Missouri will finish on beam in that fourth and final rotation, where they're ranked 11th in the country. That is their highest ranked event, and that's where they'll finish.
Final pass, nice high, tuck double back. All right. Good routine, I love to hear, and you'll see them all congratulating her. It's awesome.
All right, that wraps up the third of 4 rotations here at the Los Angeles Regional. We'll set the stage for the fourth and final rotation. When we come back, this is going to be close, the battle between... And welcome back to the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship second round. This is the session number 2 at Pauley Pavilion in Los Angeles. Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark calling the action. Here we are after 3 rotations. UCLA has been in control of this competition. They're averaging over 9.9, but it's a very close battle for second and third, and just the top 2 teams will advance to the regional final. But what highlights from the UCLA Bruins in that last rotation, Kathy?
I don't know how many times I've said wow, but this was a wow vault rotation. Shea Campbell with a beautiful Yurchenko full, and then Jordan Childs with the double. Huge scores over there on vault, but really impressive vaulting.
UCLA's 49.575 on vault, the season high there. Look at this, counter only 1 score below 9.9 through 3 rotations. The 4th highest score on beam in school history, and that's not only the 6th highest score on vault in school history, but a season high for the Bruins, who were firmly in charge. Hi everybody, Bart Connor along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. Now let's set the stage for the fourth and final rotation. First of all, we're seeing superb gymnastics, and we have quite a battle here, because as we mentioned, the top 2 teams go to the regional final, and it's very close between Missouri and Stanford.
Absolutely, and the top 2 teams right now, UCLA and Missouri, get to go to their great events. UCLA is very, very good on bars. They're ranked 5th. Jordan Childs, number 1 on the uneven bars there. And Missouri, this is their top ranked event. They're ranked 11th. So they have a great opportunity in this last rotation. And I have to say, it's impossible. I know you're not supposed to put the cart before the horse, but having seen Utah in the previous session have such a great meet, it's hard not to imagine UCLA and Utah going head to head in the regional final if UCLA continues the way they're going so far.
We saw a great competition earlier this afternoon. Utah and Washington advancing out of the second round, session number 1. Right now it's a close battle. UCLA currently in charge, but a tight battle between Missouri and Stanford for that second spot into the regional final, which will be Saturday evening at 8 Eastern on ESPN+. Will it be Missouri or will it be Stanford? Boise State trailing just about 0.6 of a point behind third place, so unlikely to challenge for that spot into the regional championship. But congratulations to them for having beaten BYU in round 1 of this Los Angeles regional.
It's actually going to be a great opportunity to see Washington again. We were so impressed with the way they competed in the earlier session. Yes, they took advantage of Auburn picking a bad day to have a bad day, but they rose to the occasion and really did some spectacular routines. I can't wait to see them again.
That's a good point. Auburn, you know, one of the top teams in the country. They were without Sunisa Lee out of the competition because of a non-gymnastics related injury, and so after having a terrific year, the last 2 years just fell short. So it will be UCLA and Washington, and Utah, likely the 3, who will be the 4th and final team into that regional final. We're going to find out at the end of this 4th rotation. Missouri on the beam, which is normally a perilous event, but in fact, one of Missouri's highest ranked events. Stanford on the vault in this rotation, and the Bruins on the bars. Boise State will be on the floor.
Casey Joe McPherson, the beam coach, the associate head coach for Missouri, has done a superb job with this beam team. They have been so consistent, so confident with their preparation and training.
And as she has done all day long, on the vault in the upper left, Claire Dean in the leadoff spot for the Stanford Cardinal. Shea Campbell set to go in the upper right on bars for UCLA. Addison Lawrence for Missouri on beam in that leadoff spot. And on floor in the bottom right, Alyssa Village for Boise State.
Oh, a leg up balance check from Missouri on beam from Addie Lawrence. Dismount off beam, 1.5 twist, a good solid routine, that one balance break after the acro series where she lifted her leg. That'll be the main deduction.
Brenna Nault on vault in the upper left screen for Stanford after Claire Dean led them off with a 9.75.
Luchenko full on back pike. Oh, pretty good control on that landing. Kind of a quick turn to salute the judge. Shea Campbell on the uneven bars, hit that first handstand. Here's her dismount, double front, step forward. And almost as entertaining as watching the routine is watching Coach Janelle McDonald on the side when she's watching the bar team. She loves coaching bars. She really gets into it, but she is an adventure all by herself.
Her enthusiasm and energy is certainly contagious. We saw that when she was coaching at Cal, the former assistant there. They have done a great job in this season, this year, and peaking at the right time. On the beam in the bottom left screen, Sydney Schaefer after Addison Lawrence at a 9.8.
Triple series coming up here on balance beam. This is critical. Needs to attack this landing.
Beautiful vault for Chloe Whitney from Stanford in that third spot after Brenna Nault got a 9.85. Vault will be completed before the other events, so we'll know exactly what Stanford team score is. So Missouri will know what they need to do if they hope to finish in the second spot behind UCLA today and qualify to the regional final.
Steele on the uneven bars for UCLA. Good beam routine there from Missouri. Ooh, a big hop on that landing. Actually, no, Emily Lee.
Emily Lee.
Pardon me. On bars.
They had a last-minute change here. Right.
Yeah, they're all smiles over there in the Missouri group. That was a great beam routine.
Stanford's Chloe Widner had a 9.925. That brings up Terralyn Wynn.
This is huge. This is a double twisting Yurchenko. Well done. That big hop will be a deduction, of course, but great to see the second double twisting Yurchenko in this competition. Of course, we saw Jordan Childs do it.
Terralyn Wynn, the powerhouse, who's just 4 feet 9 inches tall. She's a fan favorite, but boy, can she fly on vault.
She just
the
used
freshman out of Fair Oaks, California. Anna Pottereau on bars for UCLA after Emily Lee notched a 9.8.
And Janelle McDonald just jumping along with her. Great bar routine. I mean, you gotta love her enthusiasm. I think that's part of the magic, really, in the turnaround for UCLA.
Grace Ann Davis on beam in the lower left screen for Missouri after Sydney Schaefer tied her season high with a 9.875. Anna Roberts will be next up on vault. Terralyn Wynn had a 9.85. Stanford has 4 solid scores there, 3 that are 9.85 and above.
Anna Roberts with the 1.5 twist. Really good on that landing.
Stanford performing the best vault rotation of the year. They're only ranked 30th in the country on vault, having a terrific day here in the 4th and final rotation, peaking at just the right time.
A little excited there for Bean. Grace Ann Davis finished really, really well. Great job.
In the upper right corner, it'll be Selena Harris for UCLA on bars after Anna Pottereau had a 9.9.
Big Ray right here on the high bar. Really aggressively attacking the handstand positions. Ooh, right on top of the bar on that final cast. Beautiful full pirouette. Sets up the double layout. Oh, a little under-rotated, so she had to hop forward.
In the upper left, it's Maddie Brunette coming after Anna Roberts on Stanford's vault team. Gets a 9.95 and another controlled landing for the Cardinal. What a finish.
And Bart, she fought for that landing. Her quads have to be burning. She just held on in that squat position.
What is it about Stanford at the regionals? Look at their enthusiasm as they're celebrating one of the best meets of the year, and boy, what a time to do it.
I'd say they're up in the ante right there. Meanwhile on beam, Melissa Sharametta, so beautiful, so lovely on this event.
Remember, these two teams were separated by just 1/10 coming into this final rotation. Grace Ann Davis before Sharametta, a career-high 9.9. Good time to do it. And Missouri's final 3 competitors are superb on this event. Sharametta, Hu, and Schreiber. Bars for UCLA in the upper right is Margzetta Frazier after Selena Harris had a 9.875.
Beautiful creativity on beam. Needs the stick on this dismount here on beam. Gainer full off the end, and she gets it. Wow.
Oh, this is going to be close. Both teams, Missouri and Stanford, hitting sticking landings here at this last rotation. McGovern for Boise State on floor. Emily Loyam had a 9.825.
Boy, you can feel the intensity. I'm just literally sitting on the edge of my seat.
Oh, this is good stuff. Markzetta Frazier had a 9.925 for UCLA on bars. Jordan Childs, the #1 gymnast in the country, set to go. This bar routine is literally a masterpiece.
It is packed with difficulty. 4 release skills. Huge height Jaeger. Pack Salto down to the low bar. Now she's going to come right back up with a 3rd release and into her 4th in bar Ginger. And legs glued together, showing off every piece of gymnastics in this routine, and finishes with a stick. You can't get better than that. And then Helen Hu on balance beam. My world is complete right now. Beautiful beam worker. Gorgeous extension. Oh, leg up a little on that. So that's a balance check. Graceful as can be. Such control and finesse.
Okay, we have the score in for Stanford. That's a 197.275. If Helen Hu gets a 9.85 on this routine, Missouri will advance to the championship on Saturday evening here in Los Angeles.
She needs a stick. Right here. There it is. Wow. Oh my gosh, wow. That was a gorgeous routine. It had
Will that be enough?
Little balance correction.
Score just came in for Jordan Childs from UCLA. It was a 9.975. UCLA runs away with this with a 198.275. It's a huge score. Stanford with a season high on vault, 49.45 in this final rotation. Will it be enough to hold off Missouri on the beam? Grace Ann Davis has a 9.9. Alyssa Sharameta a 9.95. Helen Hu waiting on her score, and the final competitor is Sienna Schreiber for Missouri. And it's in. The score for Helen Hu is a 9.9 for Missouri. They will advance regardless of what Sienna Schreiber does here in the anchor spot. What a thrilling 4th and final rotation, with Stanford having their season best on vault, Missouri unstoppable on beam.
Triple series, handspring to 2 layouts. Beautiful 2.5 twist by Courtney Blackson. Oh, slight balance break there. Keep in mind, Courtney Blackson qualified as an individual in 3 events, so she is still in it to qualify as an individual. Oh, love seeing these gymnasts perform so well under pressure, because the pressure is immense.
UCLA will win this one. Missouri, you see their score there, 197.35, regardless of what Sienna Schreiber gets. The last 3 beam routines coming into Schreiber were 9.9 to 9.95 scores. Kathy, we saw Missouri at the midway point in this season. They had a dual meet. You and I covered it against Auburn. The first time they broke through that 197 barrier, and they've just continued to build this year.
Absolutely. They started off slowly, especially considering the hype around this team after last year's performance. And it just took them a while to put all the pieces together, but you could see all of the pieces. And now that they're coming together, they are the team we expected them to be, and just at the right time.
Courtney Blackson had a 9.9 for Boise State on floor. Sydney Leach will be the last competitor. On beam, you're seeing Elise Rollins from BYU after Sienna Schreiber got a 9.85 for Missouri.
Error on beam. What a way for Boise State to finish their regionals, their competition yesterday. So many records. It's wonderful to see them get into this round 2 of the regional competition, competing back-to-back days. Final pass, tuck double back. Good for Boise State.
We will have one final competitor on floor for Central Michigan, Hannah Demers, competing as an individual. So the final bracket is set for our Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN+. Utah, Washington, UCLA, and Missouri will advance to the regional final, and just the top 2 teams from the regional final will qualify to the national championships, which will be in 2 weeks in Fort Worth, Texas.
And a much
the 2 teams expected to advance would be Utah and UCLA based on rankings. But Kathy, we've just seen such quality gymnastics. There's, once again, anybody can advance in the regional competition, can't they?
This sets up an incredible regional final, and one of the changes in this format this year, very welcome change, is a day off in between these sessions, round 2 and the final. And I think all of these athletes need that. They need that day off. The commentators need that day off, because this is intense.
It is intense. Missouri, Shannon Welker, he's been in charge of that program for a decade and building momentum. You can see his pride coming through with the team that he put together this year. They beat 5 nationally ranked programs, and now they're going on to the regional final. Hannah Demers now from Central Michigan.
Her 4th event of the day. She's an individual qualifier in the all-around. Beautiful front double twist.
Hannah led Central Michigan to the 2023 MAC Team Championship. She won 3 individual titles herself, all around, bars, and floor. Got a 9-9 on floor at the MAC Championship to win it.
Beautiful form on pike double back. And I love to hear the cheers of all the gymnasts from all of the teams cheering her on. Final run, front layout to front 1.5.
All right.
Oh, great finish. What a day of competition. Well done.
The MAC Senior Gymnast of the Year, Hannah Demers. All of these athletes feeling a little extra emotion as they know their careers as gymnasts, which many times started back when they were 3-4 years old, are coming to a close. But what a day we had in Los Angeles with this regional. There were so many highlights. I don't even know where to start, Kathy. Just this last rotation, let's just do that. Jordan Childs on bars was breathtaking.
Spectacular from start to finish. No one knows how to show off gymnastics as much as Jordan Childs.
Another 995 on beam.
So beautiful, so tough.
That's my favorite dismount in college gymnastics. I love that. All right, so there is one final look at the regional bracket going into Saturday night's 8 p.m. Eastern final on ESPN+. It's Utah, Washington, UCLA, and Missouri. The Norman Regional, Alabama, Kentucky, Oklahoma, and Ohio State, all 4 seeded teams advanced. There were no upsets there in the Oklahoma Regional Final, but remember, just 2 from that competition will advance. There's still a lot more gymnastics coming up tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. You have the second round of the Pittsburgh Regional, and then at 7 p.m. Eastern, you have the session 2 of that second round, where people can see Florida, the #2 team in the country. And then the Denver Regional, LSU, Oregon State, Georgia, and Nebraska at 4 Eastern on ESPN+ on Friday, and then Michigan, Denver, Minnesota, Arizona in the Friday evening second round of the regionals. This is the first year that they have staggered the regionals. Instead of having all 4 regionals on the same day, they are splitting them up over the weekend. So a terrific day of gymnastics. I'm exhausted. How are you holding up, Kathy?
As I said, we need that day off. I'm still processing all that we saw today. 2 great competitions, and sets up an incredible regional final.
I just don't think we can comment enough about the parity in college gymnastics these days. I mean, many years ago when we started doing this, Kathy, there were 4 or 5 teams that could legitimately win and move on. But this is the popularity, the growth in the sport, and the quality of gymnastics just gets better and better every year.
And the toughness and resiliency of these athletes. I called them Teflon-coated, diamond-studded beasts for a reason during our last competition, and this just reinforces that in my mind.
And Missouri gets to add their name to the bracket. A well-deserved Missouri Tigers finishing on the beam, their best event, under enormous pressure to stay ahead of Stanford. Oop, we got to put that in a different spot apparently. And UCLA ties their season high with a 198.275. So UCLA peaking at the right time here at championship time of the season. Thanks to our entire crew. We're going to look forward to seeing you all Saturday night at 8 Eastern on ESPN+. We'll have the championship final there. For Kathy Johnson-Clark, I'm Bar Connor, and our producer, Kara Lagana. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you Saturday night.